Oh wow, all that time I was talking and my mic was muted. ah, welcome, welcome, welcome. Getting ready to go over the basic skeletons of the truth embargo on what's going on, why they're doing what they're doing, all that good stuff. But I want you to understand that there's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of it. There's gold. But in order to get through to that information, you're gonna have to go through a lot of bullshit piled on top. They hide the gold at the bottom and fill it to the top with bullshit. And even sometimes the gold still has bullshit on it. But that's what we're gonna talk about today and all that. I'm mad that I was talking and my mic was off. So I don't see how far back do we want to go. Do we Let's just go to the modern era. What's going on right now? What's on the fast track? So this all started around World War II in the 40s, uh, back when Roosevelt was president. Basically, we was at war with Hitler and them, and shit was going crazy. But the thing that was blowing their mind was when they was flying around, doing their missions or whatever, there was these strange UFOs, or well, they were UFOs. That's what they was. Flying, doing crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? Like flying real fast, stopping and going backwards, flying through the damn plane, dematerializing, materializing back up. And they was like, "What the hell is this flying around?" At the time, the Americans, us, we thought it was the Nazis and them, the Germans. But later on, we learned that the Germans thought it was us. We thought it was their secret weapon, when in turn it wasn't neither one of us. So Roosevelt and them, they wanted to find out who the hell they was, and what they called them was the Foo Fighters. You remember the Foo Fighters, not the band, but the Foo Fighters. The There's lots of reports on that, so you can start with that. What really got them going was in 47 is when, after they were studying these things, they learned that they could shoot them down. Now, when I say shoot them down, I don't mean like missile rockets and bullets and all that, because that shit wasn't working. They used they was using Tesla's inventions that they've been working on since the 20s, 30s, and 40s. They were using Tesla, and they had already made an advanced radar, because our secret weapon was the nuke. No one had it at the time, so but the UFOs was flying around these nukes because we was doing the tests, and it was like, whoa, 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 y'all playing with some real serious stuff right there. So when they learned that, when they turned on this radar and aimed it at the UFOs or whatever that was flying, that it would make them fly crazy and crash and shit. So that got them excited, because they was one of them crashed. We did three. We back in the 47, we crashed three. One of the crash, that shit was fucked up. It wasn't no saving that. Then another one that crashed, it had two bodies in it. Well, two live bodies anyway. One died like soon as it got to the base, and the other a couple it stayed like a month or like a couple weeks. The third one crashed, but they couldn't find that one till 1951. So it took them a couple of years just to find that next one. It was in the remote part of the desert, they say. So so that's what that happened with that around World War II, 1947. So once we started crashing these things down, we started reverse engineering these things because we already been working with Tesla's work, combined it with now we got down UFOs. Now we're getting somewhere. Now we really got some tech. And as I said on my post the other day, once we started doing that, come 1954, that's when we learned um, we really mastered gravity by then. We mastered gravity, like making shit flow anti-gravitational, anti-gravity and all that. We mastered that by 1954. So that's what I was saying. Everything after 1954 is obsolete. Because from then on, they didn't need gas or any of those things. But let me okay, I'm going ahead of myself. Let me jump back to Roosevelt. What they learned was, well, I mean, it's not really jumping back. I'm still on the point. But what I wanted to say was when Roosevelt sent out his little research people or whatever, that's when they came back and let them know that was like, yeah, these ain't the Germans. They some interplanetary vehicles. Like these things can do some shit. They can cut off cars when they're nearby. Any fucks up all electronics. It can do some shit, and they're very interested in our nukes. So all that went down. So yeah, like I said, yeah, I did jump ahead because before 54, once we was working on the crash UFOs and stuff, Roosevelt had left. Now we rolling with Eisenhower. And Eisenhower was the one that actually had the first meeting with these fools. And when he had the meeting with them, he had a meeting with a couple of them. But the main point of the meeting was if you stop using nukes, setting off nukes and all that, will will help you out with technology wise, and also if you help us with, we need experimentation on the humans, which that's for came the Grenada Treaty, where they kidnap people and do the experiments on the shit, just a small amount, and they give them the list. It was like they give them a list every year or whatever of the people that they've been abducting, and in exchange, we'll get even more advanced technology from them. Now, okay, so that was like what 50, 51 with Eisenhower. Now, mind you, 50, 51. Once that the Grenada Treaty and all that took place, that's when the CIA was created, and also that's when the Air Force split from the Army and it became the United States Air Force. Because at first we was just the Army. We didn't have a separate, what I'm saying. It was a one thing. So the Air Force split and did their thing. So now we got the CIA and the Air Force because the Air Force got the radar, so they're the ones that's seeing. Because, like I said, information and disinformation. They already know we got to keep this. We got to keep this bubble tight. So the CIA, you'll learn, man, they are the top dogs. CIA are the ones calling the big shots. Not even the big shots. They just the goons of this shit. And the Air Force is the one that makes the shits, flies them, stores them, and all that. So, also, that's when, and we're still in 1950, That's when they started, like I said, they started breaking everything off. So that's when those USAP programs really got into an effect. So you ask, what's a USAP program? And a USAP program is basically an unacknowledged special access program, meaning, say we work at the White House or for the government or whatever, and I'm in the USAP program. And you're like, hey man, I heard we working on some flying saucers and you know what I'm saying, blah blah blah. And I know for a fact that we were doing that because I'm in that program, but it's an unacknowledged program. So I'm just gonna be like, no, I ain't heard of that. Never heard no shit like that. You crazy. This was in the 50s. What year is it? 2017. Just I want you to keep remembering that. This was all in the 50s and the 40s. We in 2017. So so you have the USEPs. So they didn't master gravity by 1954. So they can basically make anything fly. They can go out. That's that's probably around the time what's his name? I can't remember his name. I can't remember his name, but that they was killing a lot of folks. That's when anyone who was working on these projects started coming out, trying to tell the public what was going on. They started dropping them like flies. This was when it got crazy. I'm talking. Let's talk about this tech real quick. I'm sure you heard of zero point energy. I talk about it a few times. So basically, they learned that using Tesla's ideas and also the UFOs, they meshed some shits together to make some super shit. So that's when zero point energy came around, and zero point energy is crazy. It's like it's about the size of a soda bottle, maybe a little bit bigger, and you can fit it on your desk. And that shit could power it can either power your home or it can power New York City. You heard me. It can power your home or it can power New York City easily. A whole city off one small little device that you can throw in a backpack. So of course, yeah, this sounds good, but also they was like, well, someone can weaponize that and really do some damage. Guess what we decided to do? We're gonna weaponize it. We're not gonna give it to anyone else. We're not gonna get rid of this. We're just gonna weaponize it to make more weapons. Now, this is where it gets tricky. People say, well, that's where the oil companies and the energy companies, they're the ones that doesn't want to release the zero point energy. But that's not the case. The oil companies and energy companies, they really, if they had a say in this, they would want this shit to come out because then they can create even more tech. You know what I'm saying? The charge. They would love to play with this kind of stuff. The money, the people who's making the money off of all this, the real money people are of course the CIA, and but it's the people that's in the war sector. You know, the bomb makers, the plane makers, all that, because that's the money that because you gotta understand these USAP programs. They fucking huge ass buildings underground. They gotta have power and all that. It's an unacknowledged program, so the government is technically not paying for it. So they got a bill coming to somebody, and it's still the government. So they're not gonna use their money. So that's where missing money comes from, and that's where drug money comes from. All that shit that they be doing pays for these USAP programs because they got to keep them running. Hold on, let me take a vape. So so this is where it gets really crazy. Now World War II is over. We got Project Paperclip. Start getting, the Nazi scientists or whatever. And well, they went around all over the world. Everyone got some Nazi scientists. It was like a shopping day. But we found out what Hitler's secret weapon was, which was the Nazi bell, the little acorn UFO, and then he had a UFO of his own, but they was still working on it. It wasn't quite finished yet. At the time, our secret weapon was the nuke. No one had no nukes before we dropped that nuke. We was the only ones. That was our secret. Well, the aliens knew, but other than that, no one. They thought we had the UFOs that was flying around, flying inside of airplanes. They thought that was us, but we thought that was them. But that wasn't the case. So, like I said, let's get back to this money game. How these people getting money? Because that's like I said. After that, then we had the Iraq War. What was that? The Vietnam War. All of that was just for money. They needed money. I mean, yeah, they would make money off the oil too, but they made more money off war. So we're running into a problem right now, and that problem is we're running out of boogeyman, quote unquote, to push onto the people. They had Saddam Hussein, the Cuban Missile Crisis, all that is right now we dealing with North Korea, but I mean it's only so many countries that you can what I'm saying push around. So what they're doing now, this is when it gets crazy. Now, like I said, remember information, disinformation. So now they're subconsciously programming us to fear ET with all these new alien movies that's coming out. You notice that, right? You see, it's a lot of alien movies coming out lately, and what they're doing is they're trying to put it in your subconscious mind. So when you see one of these out here, you're gonna think to that movie and be, what I'm saying. You're not gonna want to fight back or anything like that. But this is where it gets even more crazy. Right now, modern day, 95% of UFO sightings and abductions are us. It's not even ET, it's us out here flying around in the shit that we made, you know what I'm saying, and abducting people. And now this is where it gets crazy. MK Ultra. MK Ultra. Psychological warfare. That is going to be the next playing field coming. People are not going to People don't understand psychological warfare. They don't understand that MK Ultra. They can make you believe that you're seeing Jesus Christ in the sky, which is a whole nother topic, about the Bible and religion and all that, because all that came from ET. All that. That's ET. There's a God, but not like they told us. And that Bible is just to keep us confused and divided. That's all it is. But as I was saying, they're out here flying around in the crafts that they made. And then you have MK Ultra, psychological warfare. Now, when it was first, the psychological warfare is crazy, man. It's like virtual reality on all kinds of drugs. Like they want you. All it takes is them to get the little chips or whatever they need inside you. Hence these fucking chemicals and shit in the food and all that. And then they can activate it from miles away, radars and satellites and all that. And they can literally trigger shit to make you think you're believing shit. And that's what they was doing to a lot of these people that's coming out here, whistleblowers. Like I said, disinformation. A lot of them did experience the shit that they was going through, but they also got MK Ultra and they got Planet Memories. So you don't even just to keep us still like these motherfuckers are some evil geniuses. They really want us to not the public not to know this because I'm telling you, like I just said, that whole Bible stuff, that alone right there. If the president was to come out and say, yeah, not even the president, the Pope, if the Pope was to come out and say everything in the Bible is just false, it's just a book. It's just a book. People would lose their fucking minds. And you know it. People wouldn't be able to handle that. They'll be like, what you mean? Like everything that you've been taught about history is crazy. Oh, but this is it still gets crazy. You know the show Ancient Aliens. Ancient Aliens is actually some real shit. And they got the CIA is actually working. They got people working on that show. So when they find the good shit, oh, we don't see that. We don't see that. No, 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 no. But there was I'm sure most of you know this. All the good tech, the tech that they're trying to make now, they already had that shit back in the day. They was we living in the Flintstone era. We living in the Flintstone era. They had shit way more advanced than what. If you think we got some advanced shit now, this ain't nothing. They'll laugh at the stuff we got. They'll straight laugh at the stuff we got. So that's where it gets crazy. The next boogeyman is finna be ET. They're gonna stage a false flag attack using their fake UFOs and all that, and they're gonna attack a city and they're gonna say ET is here. We need to come together and fight whatever. And that money alone is gonna make those that war sectors stupid dumb rich. Stupid dumb rich. Off of that money right there. Now, hold on a sec. All right, my fault. So yeah, false flag and UFO events. That's what's going to. And like I said, they're doing it on the movies to kind of show you already what it would look like. Because think about this. I want you to understand this. ET been here on Earth, working with us in bases, doing their own thing. They've been here for thousands and thousands of years. If they wanted to end the human problem, quote unquote, they can do it literally in a second. It don't take much for them. It's like just like us in the anthill. That's literally how it is to them. Like it's nothing to kill y'all off. We could if they wanted to do it, they would have been done it and wiped us out. Like get out of the way. We here. But that's not the case. The case is they're going to use a ET attack, but that's supposed to be the the Trump card, not President Trump, but the Trump card. I'm gonna get on Trump as well, the Trump card. But before they'll before they'll throw a UFO hoax UFO attack, they're gonna hit us with a hoax asteroid or meteor type shit. But it's all for money. It's just all bullshit just to keep people divided because what ET wants, what they want us to do. This is what they want us to do. This is what they asked of us to do. It's simple. Stop fighting. Come together as a human race and tap into the one conscience that's inside of all of us. Like It's a universal consciousness that we're all a part of. We can communicate through it. We got a lot of power. But in order to get there, we got to stop the hate, the violence, and that ain't, as you see every day, it gets worse and worse every day. And it's been said that there's a group. We're dealing with groups of ETs, not just one group. We're dealing with multiple groups. We're dealing with a few groups, and it has been said that if we don't get on board, trying to, telling, like with the embargo, with the leaders lying to the public, telling the, that they'll just do a mass sighting type event where I'm talking about they got ships that's thousands of miles long. I want you to understand that. Thousands of miles long. The United States is what, 2,000, 3,000 miles long itself. And they got ships that's 3,000, 4,000 miles long floating out in orbit. That's why they don't want to send nobody to space. The astronauts and all NASA, all of them know all of this. They know this shit. They know this shit. It's crazy how many people are involved that know this shit, but they also know when you talk, they're going to come for you. It's just as simple as that. And that shit scares people. They getting paid nice checks. They ain't trying to you know what I'm saying, lose that. They ain't trying to like, come on, think about it. You don't want your family, your moms, your sisters, none of that to get killed over some shit that you're working on. It's a crazy situation, but it's still wrong, and the truth still needs to be lifted. And it's people in power that has the money, the power to stop the killing and all that, and still, nope, don't say a word. So where are we? Well, basically, that's where we at right now. Is in a very disinformation state right now. They're putting out a lot of information, but they're filling it with a lot of bullshit as well. But there's a lot of information coming out, and they're preparing for an event. I don't know when, I don't know where, but they're preparing. Then we have this North Korea situation, which, like I said, the war sector gets paid off of that. But, and I'm sure North Korea, they know about the UFOs too. Anyone who has an air force knows about the foes and what's going on. Then you got, is it's about that status quo, because you got China. China knows all about it, but China's not finna tell their people, you know, hey, there's UFOs out here. You know what I'm saying? China has more people than America. So they don't want that. Russia, Russia knows about it. And they can easily put that shit out. But like I said, that status quo, people, they understand that the truth is so fucked up that the public is not, they're not just gonna say, oh, it's okay. No, because I know I'm not. I'm going out there, what? Even though I already knew this shit. But it's crazy. We're fighting amongst each other. Black this, white that, Mexican this, all this. Oh, you're a Christian. Oh, you're a Jew. Oh, you're gay. You're not gay. Trans. And I don't like your shoes. And I don't like this. And fight about everything. Even today, you got people fighting single moms for the Father's Day and all that. Like it's always something, you know? So all I'm trying to do is just get the word out. Is what, like I said, what do they want us to do? They want us to, that's what we have to do. We have to come together as a human race. That is what we have to do. But I just don't know how we're going to do that. And every day we're faced with more bullshit, more corruption. Like I said, our other option is to have, if ET, has a mass showing, but even then they only going to do that if dire situations. They don't really plan on stepping in human affairs. They just going to let us do what we do as long as it's not killing Mother Earth. Like the fact that they got the cure for cancer, AIDS, pretty much any disease, they have the cure for that. They have it right in the lab. Or the fact that they have technology that can literally end world hunger. And I didn't even touch, because I don't want to hit you with too much. I didn't even touch on the P-45s or the P-52 J-Rods or Project Looking Glass. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. People they just want to fight. 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 And then they have the cops killing, the innocent people. That's just all that is. It's just to keep the public fighting. That's it. That's all it is. To keep the public fighting. They want to keep that status quo. And the people that's trying to end the embargoes, they get this information out. It costs money. It costs money to sit in front of these governors and these to politic and all that. It costs money. But it's plenty of people out there that can fund it. It's hella billionaires out there right now that knows what the fuck is going on and got the money to easily throw a couple million into the Truth Embargo Act to get this shit really rolling. Plenty of them. Oh, let me speak back on Trump, because I know a lot of y'all mad at Trump. This might make a couple of y'all. Probably not. Y'all know what the hell going on for the most part. Y'all know what's up. Okay, the whole election with the Truth Embargo, the money was on Hillary. Hillary was supposed to win it. She was going to release. She was going to basically bring out a lot of information about the ET agenda, because she was her involvement in the Rockefeller initiative, which, if you don't know what that is, took place a while back with the Rockefellers and the Clintons, and they was basically finna they was having a meeting on how to disclose this shit. It was gonna put it all out in the public. but never got it. So the people that's working behind the scenes on our side had a strong pocket for Clinton. The problem was she was so cocky that she was going to win the election that they didn't even talk about it during during her running and all that. Because they was like, we got this. Because mind you, they called Trump in. Trump, they brought him in. He plays golf with Bill. That's his golfing buddy. They was like, look, man, my wife in the run. She needs someone to run against. We can put you up out there, get you some free publicity, and you'll be good. You got your hotel coming on Washington Ave, in DC, so you'll be good. So that's what they did. They had Trump run against her, and they figured he would be so bad that Hillary would just win landslide. The problem was they didn't expect Americans to be so racist and idiots, and not all of them, because Trump made some good points. Don't get it twisted. Trump made some hell of a good points. The thing that got people going was the way he said some of the things and the racist remarks on how he said some things, and the racist people took that shit and ran the fucking mile run with that shit. They took off. They didn't expect him to win. He wasn't supposed to win. He literally stole the election. And now they're scrambling, trying to, figure this shit out. Now, it's been rumored. I don't know how true this is. I don't know, especially with the North Korea situation going on right now. I don't know. But from my research, it's been rumored that Trump will be asked to step down come September, August for some health shit. Is I can't remember like quite the details. They're going to ask him to step down, and they're going to work some deal with Pence, but he won't be president. He'll be leaving too, and then they'll bring in this new guy called Ryan. Not quite sure. I'm still looking into this shit. I'm still looking into the shit. But there's a guy called Ryan, President Ryan, that they're working on. So I'm not quite sure with that. But apparently he's for the lifting the truth embargo. So we'll see. I don't like I said, I don't know. This is new. This was brought to me the other day, so I'm still looking into this. I'm not quite sure what's going on with that, but yeah, it's rumored that they're gonna ask Trump to step down in the coming months, and he's gonna step down, and then they're gonna get rid of Pence, and they're gonna bring in a new guy. But it's a lot of, and like they were saying, unless another door opens up, and I'm not quite sure what kind of door they would need. So like I said, it's a lot. This North Korea situation fucked everything up, and then Trump went and fucked everything up. So it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. But I guess we could touch back on those P-45s and P-52s. Hold on, let me see. Let me look. Okay. Okay. Oh. All right. My fault. All right. Come back. Okay. So Project Looking Glass. This is where things get complicated for the most part. Now, I'm not going to get too deep into Project Looking Glass because that's all. Project Looking Glass is complicated. It's complicated. It's hard. It's some complicated shit. But you see it on Facebook with the Simpsons, and with them be showing like future stuff in later episodes, in earlier episodes, stuff that's going to happen in the future. Okay, let's see, how can I explain this? All right, so Project Looking Glass is it's a device that acts as natural wormholes that are located around Earth. Hence, the pyramids, um, Stonehenge, DC, the Bermuda Triangle, which is where Atlantis is at. All those are natural wormholes that you can access, and you can go to different dimensions and all kinds of crazy shit. But with Project Looking Glass, with the device, what it does is it takes the energy from the wormholes, the natural wormholes, and lets you look into the future. Now, they, how can I put this? With Project Looking Glass, with the wormholes, you can also, like, you can go in different dimensions and different time periods. But the thing is, they don't let us go over there. They come over here, but we can't go over there. If that makes sense. Now, this is where it starts getting crazy. The P45s, which is a person 45,000 years in the future. 45,000 years in the future. That's what a P45 is. But basically, a P45 came back because their timeline shit went crazy. And they're trying to go back to fix shit, basically. Change ways and shit. So, well, you know what? That actually brings us into 2012 as well. So they basically gave us the instructions on how to build these looking glass devices or whatever, and gave us knowledge on tech and all this. So a lot of these aliens that we were seeing, these UFOs, or really P45s or P52s, people that just time travel back 45,000 years. So that's what I'm saying. We got tech that's 45 to 52,000 years ahead of 2017. That right there is crazy. It's crazy. But when you get to 2012, but basically, which, like I said, you can look into the future. Um, you can look into the future and see whatever you want to see. And what they was doing was passing around these little devices at the meetings, the G7s, the G Summit meetings, where all the countries come together, and they're like, "Hey, look at your future and see what if you want to fix some shit, you know what you need to do." So the problem was when we first got Looking Glass technology, they remind me to tell you about the Yellow Book. Well, I guess I'll just go ahead and talk about it. Looking Glass technology was reverse engineered from the Yellow Book. Hence, the Yellow Books that we got now with all the phone numbers and addresses. You'll see, the Yellow Book is was an alien box when we had the meetings with Eisenhower. It's a box that basically shows 3D holograms of the biblical times and shit, showing us that that Bible stuff was all it was nothing. You know what I'm saying? It was like here, this is us, and it shows them. So that's the thing. There was a Jesus, but not like, as I say, it gets tricky. It gets tricky. It gets tricky. It's just to keep us confused. It's to keep us confused. But basically, that's what the Yellow Book was. It was a device that could show you anything about the past or whatever, give you any information, like the encyclopedia of the universe, more or less. But the thing was, you couldn't record it video. Like when you showed it, it came out distorted when you showed it back on video. So you couldn't get video of the device. But anyway, back to 2012. With the looking glasses, there was the problem when they first was using these things was they couldn't see futures past 2012 for some reason. And what they came to realize was it was having to deal with the devices. So that's when they learned that, the Earth will be going through the crazy cycles, all the planets lining up, and all that, which was true. What they didn't tell us really was that we'll be going through a lot. The Earth was going to be going through like a space storm, if you will, and all the natural wormholes would have been getting stressed out. And if we would have been using looking glass technology during that time period that we was transitioning through that storm, we would have blew up our sun. What the fuck? And that was the 2012 scare. Remember the movie? Most of the movies they were saying that the sun would, spit out hot spots and we was going to burn. That's basically what was going to happen. They was going to blow up the sun using those devices if they didn't turn them off. So now we get to 9/11. I know I'm kind of going back, but it's still going forward. Because once they learned that, they was like, oh, well, we need to get rid of these devices. That's when they learned that Gaddafi had one, and your boy Saddam had some of those. Uh, well, Saddam didn't necessarily have looking glass technology. They more found access to a portal, a natural portal, and if they would have fucked with that, they could have fucked up the whole planet. So, quote unquote, weapons of mass destruction. So that's why 9/11 went down. We did 9/11 to go handle that because they couldn't just tell people, oh, they got alien technology and we need to stop that. No, let's just kill thousands of people. That's way much better. So yeah, that I still 9/11. I understand did why y'all had to go. I just don't like how they executed it. You know, like okay, if they had that tech and it was gonna fuck up, do some global shit, then yeah, go over there and handle that. But don't kill. Why kill all the innocent people just to go over there? Because y'all was going either way. So it's just And then they got 9/11 itself that whole day, the way they did it and all that is just, ooh, this shit is crazy. But that's why we had to go to war over there to stop, because you couldn't just go and blow it up. Like it's a natural wormhole, so you had to do steps with that shit. I can't believe it. It's just crazy how they did that. And I'm telling you, if they do a hoax UFO attack, that's exactly how it's going to be. But it's going to be way worse. They're talking about blowing up an entire city. But that's apparently the last card if they can't get funding anymore. Like if the asteroid, because the asteroid is supposed to come before the invasion, quote unquote. There'll be a big asteroid threat, and then there'll be a UFO threat. That'll be their last card. So, once they went over there and did all that in Iraq and secured all that shit, they wanted to make sure they needed to make sure no one would turn on the devices, because if anyone turned on those devices, sun was blowing up. So what they did was they I don't even understand how, but what they did was they broke the devices into pieces and they gave each country one part of the machine. You know what I'm saying? So no country had the full device, if you will. It's crazy because you can make your own. It's a lot to it, but basically the major powers knew like, hey, if we turn these shits on, there's a chance that we might blow up. So let's turn these shits off. Now the crazy part is that transition period ended 2016. We going on July 2017, and they say side effects from using the looking glass and trying to fuck with shit or doing whatever is deja vu. Look up the Mandela effect. That'll get you going. Now, let me back up a little bit, just a tad. Now you got it was different people that was time traveling. You got the P-45s, which is a person 45,000 years. Then you got a P-52. Then you had a P-45 J Rod, which was basically a person 45 years in the future, but was an alien, if that makes sense. Then you had the P-52 Orions, which was the same thing, but apparently the P-45 J Rods are humans evolved. Like eventually we turn into that. I don't know. Because like I said, it starts getting weird. It starts getting weird. And actually, while I'm talking, I think I still have a little bit of footage I can kind of see. If you never really seen how these shits look. I think I closed it. So there it is. So this is kind of, I'll just let this play in the background and let y'all look at that. But so my question to you guys is, how do we bring the human race together? How do we stop the hate, the violence, and the greed? Because I've dealt with the human consciousness. Like I talk about it all the time when I call it in tune with the universe. So I'm very aware of it. It's just I don't know how to tap into it on my own. Which I'm sure is with meditation and all, but it's it's crazy that we have so much power, but yet people are so ignorant and just ready to fight. Like the fighting among society is ridiculous. And then you have the dumb and down agenda because, like I said, it's oh well, I didn't say this. Let's get into the Illuminati and all that because okay, so the Illuminati, they started, 1776, a year, well, what is it, a year after or a year? I think they started saying, I think it was a year before America was formed. That's when the Illuminati and they came here and created America. This is their shit. Well, the Freemasons did when the church ran them out because they was telling the church that they was full of bullshit. The Freemasons started out good, then they got corrupt. They ended up corrupt. So you got a lot of groups dealing. You got the Majestic group. That's the people that controls the this video right here you're looking at is footage from a crashed UFO alien they was doing an interview to her basically, and they just treating them like just cattle. But yeah, you got the Majestic group, then you got the Illuminati, then you got the Freemasons, you got the P45s, and you got the P52s and all that. Because you got people that's in the Illuminati that's Freemasons. You got Freemasons that's then you got people that's in the Illuminati that are Freemasons. Then you got P45s that's in the Illuminati. Then you got people that's in both groups that's good, trying to get shit out. Well, they're good, but they they want to keep quiet for the good of humanity. Then you got people that's just bad. It's a mess. It's a mess. It's a mess. It's a mess. It is a mess. And they're all pushing their own little agenda of somewhat. But the Majestic or the majority, now what is it? The majority of 12, I think, because they got the European Union now. Those are the big dogs that that run the show. The Freemasons and the Illuminati, they just kind of know about, they got friends and shit, and then they might have some people in it, but it's it's just a group of people. That's all it is. It's just groups that know the shit, cliques that know the shit. That's all it is. Cliques that know the shit. But what I was saying about the Simpsons is, I believe the Simpsons know some people that has access to Looking Glass technology because they own Hollywood. They call it control leakage. Like, remember, going right back to the beginning, information and disinformation. They own Hollywood. They control leakage. They put the truth out there because they kind of want to tell you the truth, but they also want to mix that shit up with some bullshit. These UFO orbs right here that you're seeing, that was in Boston. That shit happened a couple of days in time. Like, those are orbs breaking down from the mothership and then breaking down from the ship that dropped out. Like, come on now. See, I don't know what to get on this. I don't, because I don't want to take it too crazy. I kind of want to just give y'all, even though I've already taken it crazy, just kind of want to give you the skeletons of it, and then you kind of, because at the end of the day, the our main goal right now and always has is to embrace everybody and to connect our inner consciousness. Our universal inner consciousness. That's the goal. That's the purpose of life. It's to love and the grow consciously, connect consciously. But that every day we're fighting. We are fighting, and they know how to get people wound up. So I don't know. I don't know what to do. I mean, like I said, people just race this, and my view is better than yours, and the the Bible, that's a whole another ball game. And when we come to the end of truth embargo, once oh yeah, let me tell you this: they're within the inner group of people or whatever. I was told, well, not told, but from my research, that they took a vote, to see should we release the information to the public. And the first time, it was like I want to say 4-3 for it, and then they took another one, and it was like 6-1 for it, but we never got it. I was reading about that last year, 2016, or was it 15? I think it was like beginning 2016 when that it was talking about that vote. But like, well, then now that I'm thinking about it, maybe like I said, Hillary was supposed to be the disclosure. She was supposed to bring that. If she would have talked about if she would have talked about UFOs during her campaign, she would have won the election. If she would have been like, "Yes, there's UFOs out there, and I'm willing to answer all questions about it. I've dealt with them with the Rockefeller Initiative," that would have won her the election. They wouldn't have gave a damn about those emails. Now, even though a lot of those emails that they was talking about were UFO related, that's why it was such a big deal about those emails. They knew it was in those emails. See, Trump didn't know about it at the time. Well, Trump knows about the ET, but he didn't know the inner workings of it. He was like, release the emails, but they was like, no, we can't release those emails. You don't even that control. Status quo will lose the status quo. But I see everyone dropping out now, so I'm gonna go ahead and just end this on a good one, man. Y'all just stay safe out there and try to bring as many people together as you can. That's our goal. We got to bring together the human race, and the way it's looking right now, it's not looking good. But that's it, you guys. Till next time, y'all stay safe and end the truth embargo. Peace.